All right. Okay. We're live. Hey,
Huh.
before we went live, give me a sec. All right. Okay. There we go. Okay, before we went live, I just, I was watching, I was watching Godzilla Final Wars out on Kiss Asian, and weird thing about this is, okay, I've seen this movie before, and Kiss Asian only has Godzilla movies in the original Japanese, which is fine. I don't mind having to watch them in subtitled. Here's the weird thing, though. Final Wars actually has English lines spoken in it, like with English speaking actors.
Yep. Which makes it sound really awkward when they dub it to Japanese, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They dub those lines over in Japanese and don't bother subtitling them either.
Of course not. Why bother?
Yeah, I don't have an explanation why that is.
Yeah, well. So right now is the Mythoverse stream,
Yeah.
and boy, would it be great if we went to Youmacon one year, all of us to have the Mythoverse sold there on at a convention with a Halloween theme.
That would be really damn cool. Yes, it would.
Not trying to put any pressure on Wicked Publishing if any of them are listening. None at all.
yeah. Yeah, that would. Yeah, honestly, that would be really good. Something we could really work well in that month.
Oh yeah, it'd be, and I know of places to go where we could just take the train.
Really,
Yep, or a tram.
or a
Just
bus.
yep, just well, bus I would cost money.
Really?
Basically, what Youmacon does is there's two buildings. One's the Renaissance Center, and the other is Cobo Hall. To get to Kobo, you have two ways of going: either by walking, which is probably faster, but you have to get through traffic, or you take the tram,
Huh.
which you can buy a 1 weekend pass. So instead of going for the more expensive bus, we could just go for the tram, which we already paid for.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
And
that's
if we are to sell at Youmacon, we'd have to get a tram pass anyways because we're not gonna be in the same building as the dealer's room or our Sally.
good point. That's a good point. And like you said, I mean, it's still like a. It's not a big enough con that we wouldn't get lost in the shuffle either, is it?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
It is, isn't it?
There's 19,000 people in attendance. That was last year.
So we would get lost in the shuffle then. Great.
We're just gonna have to stay together. Maybe get some rope.
Oh, that's not. Oh, wait, that's not what I meant. I'm talking about like being able to sell shit.
Oh no, probably not. There are people at anime cons. People will, if you're in our Sally, people will save money just to spend stuff at art to support local artists. If you're in
Well,
the dealer's room,
Dane and I are not local.
they don't know that. Don't tell them that kind of stuff.
technically, you're not even well, you're local in that you're in the same state.
Yeah, and I went to up until 2014. I hadn't missed a single Youmacon. So I'm kind of known there. I know some of the people that worked the dealer's booth, so it'll be cool.
Yeah. But the only problem with going back to Michigan is I'd have to get on a plane.
Yeah, but think about it this way. If it's the way that I think it goes, not that I'm saying that it is, an anime con will pay your way through. So
Yeah.
that's counted into the amount per badge sold. It also explains why it's free to get autographs from the guests because they don't have to pay money. I have you spend money on their signature just so that they can pay their way through.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, there is food and all that kind of stuff, but there's a cafeteria in the Renaissance Center, so if need be, you don't have to go anywhere at all.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
Although the big two fast food companies are there, McDonald's and Burger King. And boy, do I have a story for the McDonald's that I have to tell you.
You're gonna air it now?
Well, it's probably a franchise store, so and it's also not the place I work at. But
Okay.
this store, I went there one night at about 10 p.m. because I was hungry and it was the only place open. Go in, I go over there, I order my food, and right next to me is a security guard, and smoke is coming from the kitchen. Turns out that they were cleaning the grills at that time, and they saw the fans, so it wasn't getting any basically, all the smoke was coming out from there.
No ventilation.
Nope. So the security guard calls it in, and that location is getting. I had gotten a fine for it by a fire marshal,
Oh my god.
and it gets here, and it gets better. So I get my food. The bun is soaked.
Okay. More? Is there more to this?
Yeah, it's soaked. What do you think happened? Either,
Fell apart.
either they used the steamer, which I find highly unlikely because, for one thing, they were dumb enough to stop the fans,
Mm-hmm.
or the guy cleaning the grill quickly put on gloves, wet hands, gloves get wet, makes a sandwich, and the bun is soaked in whatever the fuck I was covering his hands. And that's the only time I've ever demanded a refund from a fast food place.
After that, you should.
Yeah. I was not happy. I decided to just go hungry that night.
I don't blame you. There was one night I was working at Burger King. My job. Now, you remember, like, my job at the time was being a night porter. That meant I was the guy who came in after they closed the store and cleaned it.
Huh.
Now, that include the broiler. Now, to clean the broiler, I had to shut it off, let it cool, essentially take it apart and clean all the individual pieces.
Wow.
And it wasn't that. It's really not as bad as it sounded. That wasn't the thing, though. One night, while I was cleaning it, well, we all start to notice, me and the night crew start noticing that there's a lot more steam building up than there should be.
Oh, that's nice.
So we just said, we'll just open the back door and just let it air out. Nothing happens. It really after a while it really starts getting bad. Like this, it starts building up even more and more, and it becomes pretty clear to us this is smoke. See, the vent that the broiler goes under. This was something I had not been trained on at the time. It turned out it had not been cleaned in a long time because there was it's basically a giant metal tube where a lot of ash and grease and shit just builds up. And like I said, and this was not something I had been trained on to clean up, and the building nearly caught fire, but we managed to luckily stop that.
Jeez. Well, you want to know something about the old muffin toaster?
No,
McDonald's?
well, first I had, before you do, before you tell that story, I have to tell you, I had to, the manager was not happy that had been allowed to happen, and like I said, I had an excuse because no one had told me about that, so I essentially had to spend one night cleaning the shit out of that vent.
Jeez.
And just to make sure I was getting the job done, I bought oven cleaner, and just to get. Actually, it wasn't even a whole day. I think I spent a whole week trying to get that cleaned. There was a lot of buildup in there. There was one day I ended up getting covered in, because like I said, the first time I used oven cleaner to get it going, I ended up getting covered in black stuff. I had a picture taken on one of my old phones. I don't think I have it anymore though. But yeah, oh boy, that was not a fun day.
Oh, but not.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it took me a whole week to get that thing spotless, and by that point, cleaning the vent became a regular thing, a regular part of my routine at that point.
Oh, but it didn't get done after that, after he left.
Who knows? Now, your story?
So, basically, it's not much of a story. It's just that the old muffin toaster used to catch fire on a daily basis because muffins would get stuck in there.
Really?
Yep. So if you ever go to McDonald's, order a muffin during that time period, if it was black, it'd probably be because of that. But I'd like to think
there's I'm kind of surprised that people were actually still putting muffins out like that.
I don't think they did, but
I have to imagine. Yeah, not even McDonald's has standards that low.
Well, it's not so much McDonald's as individual managers that work it. because McDonald's actually has extremely high standards.
Hmm.
They, I basically, the idea is cook. I cook to order, if possible. So basically, the corner meat is now that's only cooked to order. You're not allowed to keep it up. The chicken tenders are cooked to order now too. So if you want to go get the freshest, you get that. You get those, or you get breakfast during the day because they're not allowed to keep it up since the demand's not high enough for it.
Hmm.
But like I said, that's corporate standards.
Don't they have routine inspections?
There used to be a mystery shopper, but
Oh, I know what you're saying. There used to be a guy who would come in from corporate. You wouldn't know it. You guys would not know that it was him, but his job was essentially to inspect the food.
basically, but now it seems like it's been abandoned for letting the for a much more easier way for customers to let the store know how dissatisfied they are.
You're gonna tell me like no one ever comes in from corporate to just inspect the state of the store at all?
Well, we do have sometimes have the surprise inspection from the general manager's boss. There's
Just
also the health
you
inspector.
mean the district manager?
Yeah, and when she does surprise inspections, they are definitely surprises.
Because the store's almost always filthy at that when she shows up.
Unless I'm working at night, then it gets sparkly cleaned.
Yeah. The regional manager shows up daily to just do a walk with my managers.
Yeah, I think that's what she wants to do too, but McDonald's gives her too much responsibilities, too many stores.
Yeah, so there's a bound to be a few that have kind of slacked.
Yep. And you wanna know how busy my store is?
How busy?
We got 4 new managers when we reopened. None of them are back are here now.
Wait. Okay. Well, back that up. You said you got 4 new managers when you reopened, and
Yeah, a year ago,
none of them
and
are.
none of them are around.
So it's not even that busy.
Yep.
Damn.
I think we're the busiest store in the state.
I can't tell if you're being ironic there or not.
Oh, I'm not. All of them pretty much decided that the army was a better option. Nah, I'm kidding. He was a manager wait until he was able to as soon as a position opened up in the army that he wanted.
Well,
What?
I guess army's a bit. I guess army's a more stable career option.
Oh yeah. And he was a genuinely nice guy too. So
And plus, I mean, like, yeah, I can I can tell you this: when you if you do 20 years in the military, you get a really nice retirement package.
oh yeah.
you basically get enough to live the rest of your days doing nothing.
Of course, if you're in the army that long, you won't be able to do nothing.
Typically, yeah.
Mainly because you've just got such a standard that you've got a lot of discipline. Basically, you can't stay stand around do nothing.
I don't know. That's one of my coworkers dad. He just like he was in the army for 20 years and now he's just retired. Has a house in a nice neighborhood. Just well, then again, I don't know what he does. That's because I didn't ask. So
yeah.
Well.
You know who's the one actor who probably nailed the army sergeant role?
Who?
R. Lee Ermey.
Well, that's because he was an actual Marine Corps sergeant.
Yep. The first time I actually saw him in anything, it was for Space Above and Beyond, where he played a Marine sergeant. When he was called officer, he said, "Do I look like an officer to you? I work for a living."
That's fun.
Yep.
You gotta ask Brian that. He'd probably say something similar.
You kidding me? Him? I don't feel like asking a poster that kind of question, mainly because you don't know what he's going to do.
Well, we did. That is true.
So, you know that trope in detective comedies where the detective is pretty much useless, but
Yeah,
the young assistant is the one that solves the case?
I guess. Yeah.
Well, watching The Nice Guys, that pretty much was a subversion of that trope.
Really?
Yeah, you had a detective who's a drunk and basically rather goofy. You have his intelligent daughter. And then you have Russell Crowe's character, the Muscle. As it turns out, the detective is able to possesses a certain kind of cunning to him, such as he realized that one of the clues they had wasn't a plane ticket, but because of the wording on there, but an apartment number, which he does get that wrong, but it turns out to be a hotel number where the person they're trying to find is already there. And then there's all kind of that is the goofy stuff he does, such as he has a tendency to fall from high places. And one of those times, he manages to stumble onto one of their suspects. I'm not going to tell you how or what state the suspect is in. But the movie was written and directed by Shane Black. which he probably hit. Which I think there's a lot of people who are calling his ability into question after the Predator.
Uh,
But give him what?
I remember people liked Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, anything that he does that's his own property, he can do extremely well if you give him full creative control.
Honestly, he should have been able to nail the Predator. He was in the first movie.
The problem of that is studio control. It's a franchise.
Yeah.
Franchises have a tendency to be what?
Micromanage.
Yep.
Because there's certain things that are expected, and they only seem to really take chances when they really get desperate.
Pretty much. And sometimes when it doesn't turn out the way they want it to, they'll just assume I just do everything wrong.
I don't know. Actually, I wonder how Godzilla lasted for as long as it has. But then again,
Yeah.
Japan, so way different standards.
Yep. It just makes you wonder.
Yeah. Well, and then again, like some of the movies from the 60s and 70s, they got pretty damn weird.
Yeah.
Godzilla versus Ghidorah. That is a fucking trippy movie. Like, wait, and it's about Godzilla fighting a pollution monster.
Oh boy, yeah.
I mean, fuck, and it's even got him using his atomic breath to fly. It's like
crazy.
The DVD, in the DVD scene selection menu, that scene is called "Something You Don't See Every Day."
Kind of like Godzilla versus King Kong.
Oh, that was actually, for its time, that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it's dated as all fuck by now, but back then, that was actually that was a pretty big deal. I'm actually kind of looking forward to Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, they have to scale up King Kong though.
Well, duh. Because the original Kong is like, I think at his biggest, he's like 25 feet.
Yep.
Godzilla is like over 50 meters tall. Depending, in that version he was. Very, very tall.
Oh, yeah.
Make King Kong huge. Yeah.
There's one of the reasons why I've decided to stick with Netflix is for the new MST3K. That was a really good season, and honestly, the first episode was pretty much a kaiju battle, a kaiju movie, but it was not from Japan. Trying to look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now.
There was actually a Godzilla movie that ended up on MST3K.
Yep.
Godzilla versus Megalon. Believe it or not, that was actually the first Godzilla movie I ever owned. My dad got it from a video store when I was like 9 years old. Like I didn't care that. Honestly, I still kind of have a little affection for it.
Despite how bad it's been perceived.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. It's not a. It is as in the annals of Godzilla movies. It doesn't even. I don't think it would even crack the. How many have been made again? I just need the number. I'm gonna look that up right now
A
because
lot. That's all that could be said, I think.
I want to make sure I have the number. We get okay. Here we go. Number of goods. There are about 35. Okay. In the annals of Godzilla movies, I don't think it would make the top 20.
Oh, wow. They did
Yeah.
another season of MST3K.
Wow. But yeah, I don't think it, but yeah, I was going to say, like, in the annals of Godzilla movies, I don't think it would make the top 20. It is, you can just, let me put it this way. If you don't even need to be this sharp to notice just how cheaply this movie was made. So, because apparently this movie was made in like 6 weeks.
That's pretty fast.
Well,
But,
they used a lot of stock footage.
yeah, I can see that. Well, holy crap. The new MST3K managed to get an Asylum film.
Wow.
Atlantic Rim.
Damn. Okay, but yeah, it would not make the top 20, but, you know, there's just some, I don't know, maybe just because it was the first one because it was kind of my first, well, technically it was my second. The worst one I ever saw was Godzilla 1985, and it was because there was some kid in our neighborhood who had it. That was the first time my brother and I ever saw a Godzilla movie, but this was the first one we owned, and it's just like, I'm seeing giant monsters fight at each other. It's like, I don't, like, I'm 9 years old. I don't really care that much about it. Like, it's, you know, like I said, it's goofy as all fuck, but it's goofy and cheaply made. It's inoffensive enough.
It's something that you have a certain kind of fondness for because it's the first one you saw and it's the ones you saw as a kid.
One of the first. It was technically my second, but it was the first one I owned. Son of Godzilla, Godzilla's Revenge, on the other hand, that one can die in a trash fire. That one is awesome. I can't even laugh. I can't even watch that to laugh at it because, like, ugh. It's not about Godzilla. It's about Milla. Actually, no, it's not even about Milla. It's about some kid that has bully problems, and so he just imagines that he just daydreams that he goes to Monster Island and he's friends with Milla and he can fucking talk to him, and he has like this really stupid voice that sounds like a really bad Barney impression before Barney was even a thing.
Wow.
It's just, like I said, and the thing is, like, none of the Monster Island stuff, it's not even really happening. Because, like I said, it's all in this kid's daydream.
Jeez. That's probably the worst part about it, when nothing happens in that. That's
actually something that grinds my gears. Have you ever seen the "it was all a dream" trope done successfully?
Nope. And that's the whole thing about it, is that the reason why people don't like that, like that kind of stuff, is that there's no real character development in it. Everything that happens in there doesn't really happen to the character. I guess it works well enough with A Christmas Carol.
Well, that's the reason why that works, is because that's actually that's what the whole narrative is built. Actually, no, it's not even really. It's It's all a dream. It's just sort of because because this was kind of said that this was going to happen to him. Like, it's not a dream. Actually,
oh yeah,
Bruce doesn't get a dream. He gets a vision of the future, and it's just, I don't know. he's being shown what could happen to him.
Yeah, with the ghost that first with the ghost, someone he knew.
Yeah. Yeah, really, it's more of a ghost story than a dream story. I mean, like, well, what? I'm not going to include like Paprika or Inception just because it's not even the same thing. Just because it uses dreams in the narrative, it's not the same thing as saying it was all a dream.
Yeah,
It just kind of uses dreams as like as like a setting device, if that makes sense. And plus, there's a and plus I don't know. It's not like it's pulling the rug out from under you or anything because there's still like real world consequences.
well, yeah, that's what makes it work.
Well, yeah, like because like in okay, I haven't seen Paprika, but I do remember in Inception, like at a certain because like they in Inception, I think what happened was I'm trying to remember. This was either in no, I don't think it was in the dream. They're doing this to they go into that one guy's dream because he's in a competitor with their client, and they want to implant this idea in his head so that he does something that is better for his competitor. I mean, that is better for the client. But the problem is they keep finding that his dreams have more and more layers of security, so they have to keep essentially going into deeper and deeper layers. And the
Yep.
problem is and the danger is you go too deep into a dream, you never come out. There's the risk that you'll never come out.
It's I guess there's a certain way to explain it, but can't think of much but for it. Mainly because Inception's a rather unique concept where you have this what should be dream sequences, but
Yeah,
not really. You know what I mean?
I guess it's just like I think about the only way that you can really use a dream effectively is if is what goes on there actually has consequences on the narrative.
Yep.
The it was all a dream sequence is just it's pulling the rug out and saying, "Oh, you know all that stuff that happened? None of it actually happened. It didn't matter."
You know how I think? Well, I would. Now that I think about it, I know of one movie where it would have worked.
But
Last Jedi.
I have to wonder if that would have made people more. I'm wondering would that have made people less or more angry? Because on the one hand, they were angry enough with what they got, but now you want to say that none of what made them angry even happened. They just wasted their time.
Look, it was a waste of time to begin with.
And it's a that's true enough.
It's that's I think the big thing that would have made it better for people is that everything bad that happened would have made more sense with it being a whole dream. All the inconsistencies with the rest of the movies in the franchise would have been explained a whole lot better.
I guess.
It's
I guess that Yeah, it's just it was. I think one of the worst examples where it started was like, it was with this soap opera called Dallas. Because what had happened the previous season, they killed off one of the main characters. I didn't watch Dallas. I watched like a top 10 really bad plot twists video from, and I'm ashamed to admit this, Watch Mojo.
I'm not gonna judge.
Okay, so what happened was previous season they killed off one of the main characters and people did not react well to it. Well, they kept going with that season, but then at the end they pulled the rug out and turned out that entire season was a dream.
And that's what people want to see. A big fuck you.
For an entire season. I mean, like, it's one thing if a movie does it. That's like, what, 2 hours of your life gone at most?
Hey, look, none of this really mattered.
And that was just only because people reacted to what they'd done already. Because I think what happened is because I think they were kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place where, like, they had already probably had the plot for the next season already laid out. So they couldn't really change course except for that one spot. And it was about the only way to fix it. Quote unquote. Just, yeah. Moral of the story is, it was all a dream is a bad idea because you essentially wasted the audience's time.
Yeah, I'm certain that we could probably get away with it, but because of the dream realm in the Mythoverse, and it's basically the whole with us, it'd be the whole. Our characters are able to control what they do in the dream realm, so they're conscious about what's going on.
Well, yeah, not just well, it's not even it's all a dream because what's going on, because obviously we would want it to have real world consequences. I mean, I like playing around with dreams because it allows you to get a bit more surreal. But you gotta, be smart about it. Like Sandman used dreams very effectively in its narrative.
Oh yeah, what is Sandman really about? But the Sandman.
Well, in this case, dream.
Yep.
That's his whole. Like he is the embodiment of like Morpheus is. He is the embodiment of dreams. Means he creates dreams and but then again, he doesn't spend all his time in the dream realm. He goes to other places.
Yeah, he basically it was a journey.
Yeah. Well, it was just a lot of Sandman was just it's just God. That's a book that you gotta look to if you're writing urban fantasy. It's such a good model. Like,
yep.
I'd put like pretty much any of the old school Vertigo titles are good models to work off of. Like Sandman, Hellblazer, Swamp Thing. Was Swamp Thing Vertigo? I don't remember.
Yeah. It was where the character of John Constantine came from.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, like Sandman, Hellblazer, Swamp Thing. But like those are just all good. You can get a lot of good ideas just reading those. I'm probably getting more out of Sandman just because I'm not dipping my toes into the horror part as much as you and Dan are.
Yep. Oh, that's gonna be fun. So,
I mean, I can dip into horror occasionally, but I can't go too deep.
oh no, no, you can't. You're basically, you're the wholesome guy.
Which is funny because I curse all the time.
Oh yeah, we also tell you to watch your language around Maeve.
Again, public school kids. You've been around you've been around them, haven't you?
Yes, but that's the kind of thing that you want to try to do is protect their innocence.
Mm.
And Maeve's one of those characters that is Victor is very good with making her look innocent.
Especially concerning what he does what he does on the side. Yeah, I'm not good. Okay, look, I'll just say Victor. I do know that I know Victor does NSFW stuff. I don't personally. I don't care because I don't pay him to do it. It's just kind of amazing that he's so good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I also think Ginger's colors really help sell it too.
Oh, she absolutely does. You know what I think is really funny?
What?
There's a bunch of people that should not be as good at doing stuff because of what they're better known for. Such as with Ginger, I remember her saying that more well I she thinks that she's more well known for her black and white stuff rather than her colors.
Really?
Yeah. And then you got Victor who does the whole adult stuff. And then there's you who's being wholesome despite the fact that you swear all the time.
I don't just swear all the. I don't just swear all the time. I've also got. Let's just say I've got. Let's just say I'm about as much of a red-blooded man as I can get.
Yep.
Just just let me put it this way. I'm not trying to put on this image of being Walt Disney.
Well, at least you
Although
can go on.
although I would say I'd say I wouldn't be a total. I would. Well, I am gonna say I'm not a total creep in real life. I don't think I need to say that.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
it's so my brain kind of shut down when I saw what was the last episode of the new season of MST3K.
Yeah.
Ator the Fighting Eagle, which is basically the Italian Conan the Barbarian, except that in this case, from what I saw on Rich Fricks, Ator loves his sister. So much so that he wants to get married to her.
Oh my god, it's messed up.
Yep. I believe the joke was, Ator, you dirty fighting eagle, you. I'm just going to go ahead and guess that the majority of the jokes will be about how Ator loves his siblings.
Oh boy.
Yep. So you can't get as degenerate as that.
Nope.
You know, it's the one thing that I've noticed about bookstores.
But
When you go into the mythology section, you find these books that say that they've got the complete collection of mythical beasts and creatures.
yeah,
But you realize from your own study of that subject that they don't have them all. So it's not really a complete book of mythical creatures, but one giant lie. And usually $15 lie.
hmm. No,
Yeah.
you know, you know, and bring it back to people who are good at who are good at things but don't seem like they should be. Is there anything? Is there anything like with like say like Beth or Leandra that got you kind of get that vibe, or is it? I think
I think with Beth, the big thing, if she was, if there's anything that would be like that, it'd be if she just told me, "Oh, I don't really like improving."
then I guess I don't really have anything. It's just like my well, I don't know what to say except for the fact that my team is just made up of people who should not who are good at something and are something, but going by reputation, you wouldn't think it.
Yeah, and
Like,
by the way, just so that it's clear, Beth loves improving.
duh.
I mean,
I mean, we've seen the original pages just for Mythics, and there's like a world of difference between what she did then and what she did now.
yeah, which is why I say I'm gonna tell everyone who eventually listens to this, back the Mythoverse Kickstarter when it comes out, so that you can see more improvement from Beth because she's going to go places.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be I'd be surprised. I would genuinely be surprised if I did not see Victor and Ginger picking up more
Yeah,
work after this. Like same with Leandra. It seems like I mean, dude, this is not me being ego. This is just what it looks like to me. It just looks like we are on our way to being a hot ticket item.
which is weird for me.
I don't know. It just seems like once that Kickstarter drops, everyone is going to be wanting a piece of us.
Yep. I mean, the minds, both Troy and Josh said that they can't wait for the Mythoverse Kickstarter
That is
because they really
awesome.
want to back it.
That is good.
Mhm.
I think they'll probably. I could probably see them even pledging at the higher tiers too.
Yep.
They are the types to go above of what's expected.
Yeah, though I wouldn't be surprised with Troy, mainly because, well,
Well,
he's
what?
one. No, nothing. Probably had a thought there, didn't have it, but all I really have to say is that they don't have to go above and beyond, but they do anyway.
Yeah, I know.
And if they can't do the higher tiers, then they'll push twice as hard for it to succeed.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like they. Oh, they definitely will. Mm. Yeah, there's.
You
Yeah.
know what's going
What were you gonna say?
Oh, you know what's gonna be really funny?
Hmm?
When we have enough fans that there's gonna be people who are gonna be throwing around conspiracy theories.
Like, okay, like what?
Well, right now, what's going around with Rooster Teeth is that there's a claim that Rooster Teeth is ignoring everything that Monty Oum wanted to do with Ruby.
Uh-huh.
But the thing about it is that I've the whole thing is based around an open letter from a guy that was basically Monty's. I think you could probably call him his best friend, who he also was an animator for Ruby, who eventually got fired after Monty's death because, well, based on what I've seen from the open letter, is because he was being openly hostile towards his coworkers.
Interesting.
Yeah, but he says that he makes a claim that it wasn't that the minds behind Ruby were him, Monty, and Monty's wife, who funny enough, Monty's wife, didn't enter the picture until after the show was started. And he openly contradicts the things that Monty has said about the inception of the story. That was him, Miles, and Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all this stuff that people are people are taking it as, oh, look at how Bruce Teeth is desecrating Monty Ohms' his legacy. But there's also admissions from Monty that he would put things in without much thought afterwards. Such as there's a character in Volume 2 that he created on the spot and had no plans for in the future. He just wanted to make the character.
Wow.
Yep. Honestly, I think Monty's entire vision for the show was basically having a team of four teenage girls do cool shit.
Well, when you look at what his background is, he's not a writer, he's an animator.
Nope. He is credited for the overall story of Ruby because he was the one who came up with the setting and all that. And it helped Miles and Carrie with the world building. But I think
Yeah,
a lot of I think
yeah, I'm not gonna dispute that, but it's just that the dude's background was in animating. You weren't expecting this guy to be that good of a writer.
oh no. In fact, it's really funny how people assume that because he was alive during the times of volumes 1 and 2, that he was the one writing scripts. No, Miles and Carrie were writing scripts. Monty even said, "Guys, I'm not a writer. I hire other people to do the writing for me."
Yeah.
And all of the interactions between him and his co-writers were all genuine. They would talk shit about each other on Twitter too.
Mm-hmm.
So I, but getting it to back to where it fits in with us, there are going to be people who, if something happens to one of us, and you trusted Dan and myself to continue Maeve's story, There are going to be people who will think that we're trying to change the character for what we want rather
Oh,
than what you wanted.
you know what? There's probably I'm probably going to be getting some of those conspiracy theories once I get Regina in the book. Because they're probably going to say, oh, he's doing what he wanted to do with Regina, not what Brian wanted.
Well, here's what the problem is with that. Brian knows your plans. Brian gave you authorization to use Regina.
Yeah. But not just that. Not just that. I even told Brian, like, hey, look, look, whatever you do, I need to keep some kind of line of communication open with either you or Trent so that I know I'm doing things right. At least until I start feeling I'm confident enough to handle her on my own.
Yeah, and I'm going to put it this way. He paid money for a Regina and Maeve image.
Yeah.
Who else would we do that for?
Troy.
But there's the thing. Here's the thing. Troy, he trusts in continuing Rex.
Yeah. He handed it to Troy. He did one with AJ. He did one with Cody.
Yeah, everyone he trusts to handle Regina.
Well, actually, of the 5 people, like, it's just me. The 5 people he listed were me, Troy, Brian Edward Hill, although I doubt he's ever actually going to do it.
Yeah, Tim Lim,
and hold up, I need to get the name of that last guy because I forgot his name.
But to be honest, I think he does know people that he would trust with it, but no, we'll never do anything with Regina. Brian Edward Hill, I think, pretty sure I remember seeing a tweet where he said that Ryan should do. Oh no, it's Ben Henderson. But there were basically Brian Edward Hill expressed interest in the term necromancy.
Yeah, I know.
So I think that's part of the reason why Brian says he trusts him with Regina.
I'm only saying it just because I remember Brian Edward Hill saying he was going to be getting out of comics, and I have yet to see anything of the contrary.
Yeah. I think he'll probably do comics just for fun in the future.
Yeah.
And I know that JMS stopped doing comics because he wants to focus more on writing novels.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just I think my most unpopular comics opinion is that Rags will be okay without Brian. He's got people who he can trust.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of his. I'm still digging through his Twitter. It's gonna be a while before I find that tweet, but yeah, I'm not worried though.
Yeah.
Please. It's gonna be interesting when everything that Regina's in, when I have everything Regina does in Changeling be a canon part of her history.
It's gonna be weird.
Because remember, Brian updated Regina's Comic Vine page.
Yep, and he gave me. He basically gave me a rundown of Regina's family in the future. So I've I've got some idea of how to where to base Space Regina on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm definitely going to have her in a variation of the Unicorn Z her with her armor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
And
everything I'm gonna write her into though. It's just like that's gonna end up on that. That has to end up on that page. Is all I'm saying.
oh yeah,
that is gonna be fun.
huh.
Like, that was actually a time I was actually on Comic Vine regularly.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised.
Nope. You've seen that kind of person. When you were younger, of course.
Yeah, this was like years ago. I think like around. I think I was like in my early mid-20s, I believe. I was like a regular user on Comic Vine. In fact, like I even had an account. Something I kind of dug about their about their system was that there was sort of this game in it. Like everything you did earned you points and earned you badges.
I see.
I got a lot of points editing articles that nobody else touched.
That's cool.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing: like after a certain point, I think you could edit articles without needing moderator approval.
Yeah.
And so I think I edited the profile from the page of of a character from one of the Predator movies, and all I did was copy and paste the Wikipedia article.
Jeez.
That's how easy it was.
Yeah. So, got something interesting to point out.
Uh-huh.
You know how Comics Academy did that whole Comicsgate tweet?
Oh yeah, let
It's
me
gone
guess.
now.
They got ratioed.
Yep, and they got rid of it. At least that's what it looks like. It's probably because they were not just because of the Comicsgaters, but also because they were promoting some Comicsgate books, such as The Good Knight.
Really?
Yep.
Now are they gonna claim like, oh, now here's the question: Are they gonna roll back promoting those books, or are they gonna claim we didn't know they were Comicsgate?
Well, they deleted the tweet, so I don't know.
Man, they seem to. I can't believe it. It's just like I honestly thought they were okay, but man, I was wrong.
Yeah, but at least they're course correcting.
They were. Yeah, it's just like what. It's just like what the hell, dude.
You know what's funny?
What?
That link that you sent through Slack,
What about?
it still takes you to the tweet.
Really? The tweet still.
Yeah.
They said they deleted it.
It looked like they deleted it, but it looks like it's no longer on their feed.
Oh, what? I think I remember that. I think they are that. What I tweeted earlier was like it was an art. It was an RT from earlier. They RT'd that.
Yeah, no. No, it's not a retweet.
Okay, what else?
Yeah. So,
What?
do I want to point out that they promoted a Comicsgate book?
Well, yeah, already did anyway. So what does it matter?
Well, I did it on stream. Do I dare tell them to their face? Tweet.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the thing.
I don't know.
But
somehow I get the feeling sooner or later it's going to get dug up anyway.
Yeah. It's that's the reason why I don't want to be associated with movements, is that they tend to kill brain cells.
It's like, what? Like I said, like, I don't, like, why? Yeah, just, like, why? Like, someone's going to point it out to him anyway.
Yep. I mean, it wasn't just the Comicsgate book, it was a war campaign.
Dude, man, imagine if they get hit for that.
Oh, that would actually be pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, all I can say is they better hope they can claim they were. They better hope they can claim ignorance, because that's about the only defense they got.
Yeah. Bless you.
Yeah, thanks.
Welcome. Getting you're getting
Not a
allergies?
cold. No, I don't have allergies. I just sneeze. Yeah. On the what? On a kind of unrelated note, really good to have Lenore back on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I really can't believe it took him this long to realize that she's not a terrible person.
Yeah, I don't. Let me put it this way: she's opinionated, but she does not have a mean bone in her body.
Definitely not.
Yeah, you'd have to bend over backwards to convince me of that.
Well, I hear that certain people are more than willing to try. Like the people who reported her.
Yeah. Point taken, yeah.
But it was all for something really stupid, too.
It was.
Troy drew a fix of an artist wanting to do a more masculine.
Wait, that's where it all started on?
Yeah.
Seriously, that's been over for weeks.
Well, you had someone who still fought that battle.
God, that's stupid. That is so stupid.
Yep. And it's really funny how they call it harassment too. They're harassing an artist who put his work on out in the public.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what to say to that.
Learn to be an adult.
I guess.
That's really the only thing you have to say to people like that, because for the love of God, what he did, what that artist did, technically was, I don't know, harassing the person that originally created Samus.
I don't know, just the whole thing, and when you look back on it, was just really stupid.
Oh, I'm not denying that. It was incredibly stupid. If it's anything, the people who say that the artist was being harassed are stupid. Plain and simple.
All right.
Think about calling it.
Yeah. The stream's kind of dead right now, and I think there's kind of more. I think we've more or less run out of things we can actually talk about while on air, anyway.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. I don't think there's not gonna be any streams next week because due to scheduling on my end. So
yeah, let's get. That's too bad.
We'll have something. I think we should be able to get something for you guys next. I think we should be able to get something for you guys on April 5th. We'll see you
later, guys.